Hello, everyone. So, this is day 11 of my own personal research wearing a continuous glucose monitor. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about why I've been doing it. If for people who are maybe seeing this the first time, if you've been following me for the last 10 days, my posts on social media, I've decided to share with you guys my experience about wearing it. It's a right here it is, still here, 11 days in. Doesn't hurt. I don't feel it at all. I also don't always remember to check my blood glucose because I'm not diabetic or anything. I'm just doing it really because I have started recommending it to my clients who are have really any kind of like insulin resistance, pre-diabetic, at risk for diabetes, or have been diagnosed with diabetes type 2. I really recommend that people wear it for a couple of weeks just to see which foods are maybe spiking their blood glucose. And I'm very happy to say, so 11 days in, not much has changed with me. As anybody who has been following me knows, I eat real food only. I eat no processed food. Um, which is something that is sometimes challenging in a world where the everyone has been brainwashed to think that eating only healthy food is unhealthy. But that's what I do. I eat only healthy food because I am addicted to sugary, starchy, hyperprocessed foods. Now, this CGM does not measure addiction, it measures metabolic health. It measures if the foods that I am eating, especially the more carbohydrate rich foods, to make sure that they're not spiking my blood sugar, which would mean they were spiking my insulin, which would mean something that I wouldn't want it to do. And I'm very, very glad to say that the CGM has been shown that the way I eat is keeping me very metabolically healthy. My blood glucose levels are consistently within a range of somewhere between 80, 82 to usually it won't go up over 110. And if I'll eat something that's more carbohydrate rich, like let's say I had on Friday some orange soup, which has in it sweet potato and carrots and pumpkin and also bell squash. And so it's like a more, it's would something that would be more towards like a carbohydrate rich food that I eat. Or, for example, on weekends, I'm Jewish, I'm Orthodox, and so on Shabbat, on our Sabbath, we make a blessing over bread. So I make this oat bread that's made out of ground whole oats rather than flour, which is probably the only grain I eat all week. So then it'll go up to like 120, like I tried one of those oats not on the Sabbath because I there is usually a hole. I don't measure it on my Shabbat. But when I do eat these more carbohydrate rich foods, I'll see it going up to 125. I think the highest I saw it go up to was 130 when I had quinoa, which is still fine. I wouldn't want to see my blood glucose going over let's say like 140, 150 milligrams per deciliter. That's how we measure it here in Israel, even though the range that the CGM gives is between 70 and 180. I think 180 would be too high for my personal goals. But what I can see is that the eating real food for me keeps me healthy. Not only does it keep me from craving these addictive, sugary, starchy, hyperprocessed foods, but it is also keeping my metabolic health in check. And that's really, really gratifying to see. I don't do ketogenic, I don't do intermittent fasting, and I'm still okay. And this is another interesting thing that I saw, and especially today. Sometimes on Sabbath, on my Shabbat, I'll eat a very big meal for lunch. And I'll eat such a big meal for lunch that I don't eat the rest of the day because I feel like I've had enough food for the day and I'll wait till the next morning. And then what is nice to see is that my blood glucose levels don't dive down or I start feeling dizzy or woozy. So that's also a nice thing to see that my body knows how to keep my blood sugar stable. So this is my experience in pretty boring, I'm happy to say, a pretty boring update every day, pretty much the same thing. but I think it's given me a wonderful affirmation to the way I eat. And I think that, it can give a lot of really, really good information, especially for people. There are some things that I wasn't sure if what I'm eating or how I'm eating, if they're okay. And I saw that most of them were. On the other hand, I would say, like quinoa, maybe I do need to be a little careful, which is usually something I eat only once in a while. But I ate at a coffee shop. It was okay. I went out for breakfast with my mom and it was fine, even though it's like, more like an industrial kitchen, let's say, in a coffee shop, and my blood sugar was fine. So I'm really, really glad to say that this is what's going on. And if you have any questions or, you want to say anything about it, please put it in the comments here. I'll be glad to hear if you have experience with a continuous glucose monitor, even not being diabetic. What was your experience about it? Please share here. And if you would like to get updates from me all the time, and especially my end summary and my weekly Tippy Live on a different subject every week, you should sign up for my newsletter in the comments below. Have a great week. And I will definitely tomorrow, I will have a very nice and interesting, I think, post for you. So take care and have a great week. Bye.